The difference between trying and training is trying will fail.
The more commoditized your business is, the more humanized your content needs to be.
You have to silence it. You have to keep things at bay. Like social media, you have to keep that away. You just have to be that human connection and someone they like, and you have to be someone that is trustworthy. People that are doing those things, they're prioritizing God, they're prioritizing their family, they're prioritizing work to a healthy amount, and then they want to give back and contribute.
Like everything that you say is either overcoming an objection or creating one.
But can you imagine if we all impacted our neighbors and were able to interact with them more? That's a huge opportunity for everybody, because it's really not about the money. It's really about doing good for others. You get more from giving than receiving. And you got TikTok and you got social media that's telling you buy, or you need this. This will make you happy. I got news for you. Sorry to ruin the script on that one, guys. It won't make you happy.
There's one thing that all champions have in common. They get shit done. So welcome to the Get Shit Done experience. Wow. We are back at it again. Yes, this is the Get Shit Done experience, also known as the GSDXpodcast.com. Thank you so much for tuning in. We appreciate whether you are on YouTube or Apple or Spotify, wherever you're picking this up. We appreciate it. And thank you so much for all the support on our content clips. It's been absolutely fantastic. Once again, this podcast is powered by TTSG GSD Technologies and 2020 Design. And we are here today with somebody who definitely gets shit done. We are talking to Mr. Brian Franz. Welcome to the show.
Thanks, John. I'm just so happy to be here. This is just awesome.
It's going to be great, man. Just talking to you before we turn the camera on and the mics on. Just amazing energy. I'm excited to kind of pick your brain about life and business. And what's been absolutely amazing for me is I've been connected now with you on LinkedIn for 2-3 months since we chatted.
Yeah.
And to see how active you are creating content, you're putting yourself out there. You're back in the shop at Envision3 and talking about how your equipment works and the creative type of work that you're doing for customers and the premium work that you're doing for customers. And of course, you know, your business, the foundation of your business is built on service. So kudos to you, man. Well done.
Thanks. I mean, I got you to thank, really, because you showed me what LinkedIn can do and how to do that well. And I just started doing short little clips and trying to make print look cool. It's kind of hard to do.
Sure.
It's not always glamorous. A lot of times the machinery people don't understand what it means. So to do close-ups of the machine is kind of a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
So I've tried to make it fun, simple. I've thrown airplanes off of buildings. I've done push-ups and Superman push-ups. I'm just trying to think of any way I can to make it all happen, you know?
So here's the rule of thumb, and you are absolutely on target and you're nailing it. The more commoditized your business is, the more humanized your content needs to be.
Right.
And that's exactly what you're doing. So it's going to continue to take because people are getting a chance to feel your energy. And really why they're tuning in is not to see your machines running. They're tuning in to see your energy and what you have to say. And oh, by the way, we happen to do amazing work and creative work. So tell me a little bit about, we're not going to make this an infomercial today. We're going to talk about how you get shit done. But just to kind of set the groundwork of where you are doing that, talk a little bit about Envision3. We're on 3 ideations of the organization, 25-year anniversary as of last month. Your uncle and your father bought a previous company, and you're there kicking butt. So tell us a little bit about the organization.
Yeah, so it's just started as a commercial print company, and technology has really changed what that means. And my dad and my uncle bought a company in Bensenville in 2000 and quickly outgrew that building with my dad's sales and my uncle's sales and that print company sales, and then quickly built their own building in Bloomingdale, designed it and own it for print operations, which is really strategic to get a good workflow. You need that efficiency to really create that. And then ever since 2004, just continue to add more services, more companies that do certain services right and left of printing, like digital print, packaging, folding cartons, direct mail, fulfillment. So that's happened through other print company acquisitions. That's happened through mail houses or just fulfillment houses. So we gain expertise, we gain personnel, and then now we have 2 buildings, actually. So we have a building in Batavia and in Bloomingdale. So it's been fun. It's really cool. I've been with the company for 12 years now. So I've gotten to see almost half of that journey, in my professional life. And then as a kid, I grew up, I was cleaning toilets.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In the back shipping. So I've had a lot of different experiences at the company, and I'm just so grateful that I've gotten to have those experiences and that my dad invited me into that, which was something I didn't necessarily plan to do at the time either. So I was going to potentially stay in Arkansas where I went to school and work for Walmart or one of those other companies down there, because I studied business and marketing. So that was, my friends were all down there. I thought that was where I was going, but I decided to come back for family, and here we are 12 years later.
Look at that. What a great decision. I'm sure that's worked out quite well because you're building a life, not just a living.
Exactly. And family's important too. So I really value having family nearby and all of that as well.
So what is that like? I haven't had the chance to work in a family business. When I say that, I mean my family. I've worked for other family businesses where I was part of somebody else's family business. So I understand it from that perspective. But what are some of the awesome parts of working in a family business, and maybe some of the things that are a little bit trying?
Yeah, no, family business is great. I think my dad and I have a really good relationship. So we've been able to really have those boundaries where they need to, and he created some of that. So when I first started, I was in production and I had a different boss. So I was never under my dad until a few years ago. So a lot of my experience was built with other people, and he wanted it that way so that there wasn't any of those family dynamics. Now, don't get me wrong, we talk about business a lot, and we're out at the lake house or whatever, we're talking business or things like that. My wife gets a little bit on me for that sometimes, and it's good. She's right. You need to have a little bit of a pause, and it can't all be that. So we do a good job of trying to corral that energy, because he's passionate, my dad is, and he's still very active.
There's always savings, but it's about way more than savings alone. Total Technology Solutions Group redefines managed print services. Excellence is the minimum standard. TTSG is a true managed print service provider, deeply understanding your technology and business goals. Your business is unique. Our solutions are tailored to your current and future business goals. Our customer-first approach empowers and delights. TTSG can ensure your technology environment will scale as your business does. So as you navigate business and constant change, partner with TTSG for premium advisement and seamless implementation of your technology goals. We set the bar high. Your people deserve it. Peace of mind. Powerful innovation. TTSG.com. Well, he was the key sales guy, right? I mean, that was kind of his thing. He helped to build this thing. So he's probably a pretty passionate dude about what's happening at the company.
And he's a super hard worker.
Yeah.
I think the best
it's
thing
his baby
he's ever given me was a great work ethic. That's like the best gift that he could ever have given me. And I have him to thank for that. So I've really seen him do that. He's there day to day, but he's not in day to day anymore, which is cool, because he can focus on the important things like equipment purchases or company acquisition. And me and the team, there's a lot of other great people that are on the executive leadership team that are really making good strides for the company.
Yeah.
So that's been really cool to just be a part of that and to grow into that with my experience, knowing like how to get print done and then how to leverage that, and then now talk to customers about that, how to help save them, how to innovate, give them a creative way to do the thing they were doing without costing more. And that's like the sweet spot where I love to get to, that premium product without a premium price tag.
I think we just came up with the title for your podcast upcoming. Get Print Done.
Get Print Done. There you go. Yeah.
That could be it.
I like it.
So you had talked about how the print industry has changed. My older brother had been in print for years. Maybe he still is. I think he still is. And, I can recall a kind of a heyday, I felt like, in the late 80s, early 90s. There was like a big heyday, and it continues to fluctuate and change. But you're talking about a lot of the growth has been through acquisition. And we're seeing this in a lot of industries, especially as technology advances. But it's a very relationship-driven sale.
It is.
Because it's super commoditized. I would imagine the equipment that you have, there's another shop that might have the same exact equipment.
Yep.
Right? So it really just comes down to, does the buyer enjoy the brand experience that you create for them?
Yep.
So talk a little bit about how you've been able with your team and your staff and family to maneuver and weave through, and because you're one of the few that are growing right now.
Yeah, and it is a challenge. Like you said, everyone's got a printer. Everyone knows somebody that does print, and they don't think they have a need. I mean, like, why would you, right? It's just like Comcast versus fiber. You know, you have Comcast, you're not going to switch to fiber unless there's a really good deal or you're unhappy with it. So I always talk about that with people. And you just have to be that human connection and someone they like. And you have to be someone that is trustworthy. So some of these people, they have to report to somebody, and this could be, you know, detrimental to them if they take a risk on a young salesperson. So it doesn't really pay unless there's a price thing, or if there's just, they're fed up with the quality that they've been getting. So it's really that timing, as is any sales thing. But really in print, it's so technical. And I think the hard part is there's so many variables. So it's not just one dimensional. I mean, every job is custom. I mean, you think about print in general, yeah, you've got like business cards and flyers that are more of like a product line, you know, that people can do. But everything else beside that, is custom, whether it's a 16-page or 32-page brochure or more. So it's all got the same flavor, but it's a little bit different, which makes it still custom. So like, I couldn't tell you how much we do or what we break out of like 16-page brochures, because they're not all 16-page brochures. They might have a stitch component to it. So it's so dynamic, and I love how unique it is, because every job is different, even though it's kind of the same. And I talk about it like everything's cake. You've got your basic ingredients, but you get a lot of derivatives from those basic ingredients. You got your paper, inks, coatings, and then finishing, whether that's, you know, you're making a book and binding it, or if you're doing die cutting and packaging, maybe you're doing foil stamping and embossing. So there's a lot of different ways to make the cake, but it all has to go through certain key processes before going out the door.
Yeah. It has to have eggs and butter.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there are key ingredients that it just absolutely has to have.
Paper. Yeah.
But then after that, how you decorate it, and whether or not it's a basic cake or a highly decorated cake.
Right.
Whether or not it has fondant. Yeah. I watch the cooking shows with my wife, so I have to know what fondant is.
But do you eat the fondant?
I don't know. It seems to me that it's like rubber.
It's almost like taboo. It's like, oh, do you eat it or do you not?
I think you have to kind of eat it because it's like part of the cake, but I don't know that I would enjoy it thoroughly.
Right. I agree. I haven't had much experience in fondant, but
yeah, I don't know how we got here. I used a bad analogy and I got to fondant somehow.
Well, that's all right. We can pivot.
You started it. I rolled with your cake analogy.
Yeah. Well, I love analogies, so I love making it easy for people to understand things. And I think that's the part I enjoy most, is I'm going into somewhere and they don't know what I do. You say the word print, people think like t-shirts.
And it could be so many different things.
And so I got to rattle through all these different things like brochures, business cards, packaging, you know, cannabis packaging, medical packaging, and then they go ding, and I see it. I really do. I physically see it when I'm there, that light bulb moment where they go, oh, you could help me with this. It's a beautiful thing, and that's the moment I live for. It's just getting there. That's always the struggle. Yeah. Is getting to that light bulb moment is about the hardest thing I have to do every day.
You know, you made an interesting point, because everyone's got a print person. It truly is one of those things where people are going to, like, you want to get your print person and just be like, all right, that's taken care of in my life.
Right.
So I don't need to change. And you hang with that print person, that print company, for an extended period of time until maybe they make a mistake.
Yep.
And then they make a big mistake. And then they make a big mistake and they argue about the big mistake.
Yep.
And then at that point they go, okay, whoa. Okay, one mistake, two mistake, argue on mistake, time to look for another answer.
Yep.
You need to be in the right place at the right time. So there is a level of being opportunistic and being in the right place at the right time. You also have to be front of mind, but it's less of a sales game at this point because it's not transactional, it's still relationship, which means that it's probably more of a branding and a marketing game. You're doing a lot of branding and marketing leading up where you're not getting any opportunities to bid even,
right?
But you're making people aware that you exist and you're staying front of mind, so that when that mistake happens and then the argument happens, they go, that's it, we're calling Brian.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what it comes down to.
It really does. And the crazy part is the first two mistakes don't always get noticed, like on the manufacturing's radar. So they're silent mistakes sometimes, or very low key mistakes. And so it's the third one that it breaks their back, and then they're ready to go somewhere else. So the first two are just like, okay, whatever. And then, you have one more, and it might not even be a big mistake, but then that's just it. So we're really careful as a company. And let's be honest, mistakes happen.
Sure.
We're not above it. Everyone does that. It's really how you handle those mistakes. So you have to be there. You have to empathize with them. You have to, as much as it might not be their fault, it might be, or it might not be your fault, it might be their fault. You still have to relate to them, understand what they're up against. At the end of the day, they are paying for something to get done. And the hard part is it isn't a product, right? It is, but it's not a product that has really any value aside from it's a marketing material.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't go sell that marketing material for ABC company to DEF company because it has no value to DEF company.
Correct.
So,
it's logoed with
their stuff.
Yes.
So like it goes in the garbage.
Yeah.
If they don't want it because the color is off, well, I either have to discount it or reprint it or throw it in the garbage and say, we have to part ways, and this is it.
do a credit memo.
Yeah. So it's kind of a hard reality with some of that. But I think in how you handle and explain those things, and not everyone's going to get it. I think the hard part is people don't understand what all has to happen to get to some of this. Like, for example, on the cover of a book, they might have seen a color proof of it, and we might have matched it. In fact, actually, the color proof looked washed out, but then on our actual printed looked like vibrant and nice. Well, say they didn't like the vibrant and nice. They wanted the washed out look, which is, but mind you, about the craziest thing I've ever heard. But that might be what they wanted. And so there could be an issue with their perceived level of quality because of that.
Yeah.
And, not to mention, I got to put laminate on top of it, which is going to darken it more, which is going to change it as well. But I can't show laminate
in a proof
because that's a second layer, and it would be hard to replicate that as a
unless
printer.
you get a complete one-off, which, by the way, setting up the machine to do a one-off and then not getting the job.
Right. But what the other funny thing about that is, it's like, people approve PDF proofs, and that's not what they're buying. So it's so funny. It's like, where else in life would you just approve something on a screen? Like, would you approve your siding on your house based on the screen?
I'd probably like to touch it, feel it.
Like like say you want a certain color gray on your house and you look on the screen, I can guarantee you what you see on the screen is going to be different than
because the tint on your screen,
it's RGB.
It might be off too, and you might have brightened your screen at some point on accident. And it's what you're seeing and what is actually in reality 3D,
and it's a different color gamut.
Yeah.
So RGB is your screen, red, green, blue, versus print is CMYK.
Aha.
So you already have two different color standards. So it's funny that in printing we even do PDF proofs. Well, it's complete garbage. We do it, and it works if and like people are okay with it. But when you really come down to like actually buying something, like you're buying a product and something to look at it on a screen, as long as there's variance, it's fine. But you're literally not buying what you see on the screen, like at all. Like you kind of get the mock-up and like the pagination and where that is, but if it's like the right color blue or the right color orange, like in your logos, like that happens.
So you're getting the brand guidelines from your client, provided that they have them.
But that doesn't even matter. Because at that point it's already done.
Yeah.
The marketing team does the brand guidelines.
Got it. Yeah.
How am I to judge? I don't know. That's putting me in the seat of like making decisions for them. Like we're the manufacturer that'll get it done once it's been designed. Certainly we can help if like they need to have a check of consistency of those things. But like
so you're saying their marketing team is designing the box, then sending it to you to manufacture?
Yes.
Got it.
So we get the print ready files. Now we do like structural design for folding cartons. So like,
will you do design for them as well if they don't have a marketing department that has that capability?
Some, yeah.
Or are you trying to stay away from that?
Some capabilities, I would say we're not as equipped with that.
Yeah.
We used to have a marketing arm, and it just didn't pan out because a lot of our customers have a marketing team.
Yeah.
Or they're resellers that wouldn't want to use us anyway because they'd want their own marketing team, so they wouldn't so they can go wherever they want.
So you become an extension of their marketing and branding, and essentially you take what they provide to you and you make it come to life.
Yes, which is great. So we take and make it 3D when it's boxes. I take those colors, make them right. I soothe any concerns when it comes to colors, because I do know our G7 color certification, that just makes a ton of difference. It makes worlds of just peace, and people can know I can send it across the country, and what I send you is what I'm going to produce within 2 delta E of color variants. So those things are helpful with getting new customers, because a lot of customers that I work with are not in state, so I can't just go see them, and I don't fly to go see them. So sorry, customers that I don't go and see, but maybe we can hang out sometime. But
yeah, he's been doing more coffee. You know where you could hang out with him is on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
That's a great place to hang out. You can hang out daily. And by the way, instead of going to see one customer, you could see 5,000.
Yeah. I've loved LinkedIn. It's so great. Just been meeting so many great people on there.
Yeah.
I mean, you had Alan Stern on the show.
Yeah.
He's been a great connection and taught me a lot of things. Just Micah Brooks, Chris Hardwick, Dale Dupree are just some of the few guys that have really stood out to me. And we just are fellow, salespeople.
Yeah.
And we're just trying to do life together and figure out strategies. So I'm an open book with that stuff. I'm
pretty cool community if you decide to get into it.
Yeah. I want to help people is what I really do. I wanted to do something with my career that was impactful.
Mm-hmm.
And I always worried that print was just something that wasn't that. But I've learned over the years that it has been something that's been really just beneficial. I get to see nonprofits and help them with their appeal mailings.
Yeah.
So I get to be the guy that makes the stuff that gets in the mailbox that you open up at your house or throw in the trash. But hopefully you open it. And hopefully a little service announcement, please open your mail. Even if you don't buy it, just open it for the sake of the marketing team.
Somebody took time to do it.
Yeah, somebody made that for you. They wanted you to see a message. I know you get tons of messages every day, more than you ever should. But at least in digital, please open your mail and see that stuff. That's what gets a 90% open rate. And maybe you never know. That might be the reason you decide to go with that lawn care company or with that nonprofit that's raising money for a good cause. You just never know.
Why is helping so important to you?
Well, I just love to serve. I love to serve people. And I think it's my background as a Christian. I follow Jesus, and I've been more bold in that lately. So I'm trying to do that and just share what he's done for me with other people. And so I lead with that servant attitude of, what Jesus did for me. He died on the cross and made me have salvation. I believe in him. I believe that I'm going to heaven because of what he's done. And I want to extend that love that he's given to me to other people. And so that's what I'm doing in print, just by being a friendly face, just by smiling, just by adding value, doing things with authenticity and integrity. Those are the kinds of things that I've been working on. And just like you said, the human connection, like going and grabbing coffee with people. Matt Hammer was another guy.
Oh, the Hammer.
Yeah. I saw his LinkedIn and he looked like a super successful guy. I'm like, dude, I got to talk to you. Like, what are you doing that's so great? Let's have coffee.
Yeah.
That turned into like 3 other experiences same day. Of then he went and came to Envision3. I showed him around, and then he came back later with donuts for us. I mean, it's just like such a cool thing. And so we've talked and are collaborating. So we just try to strategize together. We're in totally different industries, but we're cut from the same cloth, it seems like.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to do it together.
Great golfer, by the way.
Yeah.
Matt Hammer.
Yeah, it's intimidating.
Properly named.
Yeah.
He drops the hammer on it.
Right.
So, beautiful message. Thank you for that message. I think it's really important, and I think it's important that if we have a belief, I'm a believer as well, and that we tell that story and that we have that impact and we live it out. So, thank you for that. That was great. Obviously we know the name of the podcast, and there seems to be a very common theme that I keep hearing and getting a chance to relive in people that are, I don't know, maybe it's law of attraction. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's people coming into the studio. I'm not sure. Maybe it's an energy I have. I don't know. Maybe it's an energy the guests have that brings that energy out of me. But there seems to be a lot of conversation about stewardship. The successful small to mid-sized business owners and athletes and executives that I'm talking to, I don't think it's them just having a topic to talk about, but they talk about purpose. So often, purpose is so important to them. And again, I see them living in their life. I don't think it's just a talking piece. Sure. So stewardship, purpose, and giving seem to be just this fundamental, universal energy that people with success that I admire seem to carry themselves with. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is so commonly spoken?
Yeah.
And why?
That's interesting.
It just seems to be kind of radiating out of this microphone. These microphones in the studio, just about every guest is talking about it. Why do you think that is? Like,
Well, I mean, I think, you're basically talking about balance, and you're talking about having priorities and making the right priorities. So I think that people that are doing those things, they're prioritizing, God, they're prioritizing their family, they're prioritizing work to a healthy amount. And then they want to give back and contribute. So I think everybody really wants to be purposeful and really want to give back somehow. Like, we all want to make an impact, or at least I would assume. I do.
That's the thing that's been amazing is, like, I don't know if that's the case. It seems like when you look at general society, I'm not so sure that that's the case. I'll give you an example.
Maybe you're the magnet.
I don't know that that's the case. I think it's the caliber of people. Because I'm trying to bring in CEOs, executives, people that have some success, that have a story to tell, something to talk about.
Sure.
And by the way, a listener could be like, if I did research, I could be like, yeah, they've done that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll give you an example. I play at a very nice public course that I'm a member at, but it's a public course. And 2 or 3 years ago, the course was just absolutely fantastic. The greens were amazing. People fixed their ball marks. Divots were filled in. The pace of play was good. And there's a deterioration of that as more and more people are coming out to play golf. What we've seen is the greens are mutilated.
Yeah.
Nobody fixes their ball marks. People take huge chunks and divots, and they don't fix the divots. I've seen chunks of divots out of the green where somebody maybe missed a putt, got angry, and hit a chunk of divot out of the green, and they don't replace it. So there's this kind of like, I've seen groups where, you pull up and it's a group of 8 that were playing in 2 foursomes, but have decided they're just going to play an 8some. They're going to all play together, and they kind of don't care that there's anyone behind them.
Yeah.
I've seen more and more people where a single will pull up to a foursome. The single's been waiting for 3 holes. The foursome won't let the single through. So I see more and more of this stuff, and I see a deterioration of human beings. But when I talk to business leaders that are successful, that are running a brand, that are leading people, that are having to interact with customers, that are having to provide service, that have that balance that you're talking about.
Sure.
It tends to be it's almost like a different wavelength they're working on.
It's hard to be out in the public, honestly, because of our service level and like what I like to give for people, because that doesn't always come back the other way. So it's this disconnect of even at, restaurants or things like that. And, you still got to be patient and things like that. But I'm just like, oh man, like there's such an opportunity here. There's such an opportunity.
You see what I'm saying?
But
don't you
I
see
don't know
that?
how to harness that or leverage that or, call that out or shape that.
Yeah.
I don't even know how to do that. I mean, I help with budget coaching and getting people out of debt, for example. So I do try to help people on that side, because when people are doing the things of the world and the culture, they're spending. Their credit cards are at all-time high, debts and things like that. So I'm trying to flip the script on that with people so that they can this is like life-changing stuff. And I'm trying to get to people when they're like in their 20s, so they don't make mistakes, and they can set themselves up for generational wealth. They can impact their kids and their kids' kids. through that. And that's just one example of it through like the finance side and saying, oh, well, no, you don't need to have a credit card. You could actually do the all cash thing, which is really countercultural. Like, I know it's like,
I had an amazing conversation with a Lyft driver who was from like some Pakistan, but not Pakistan, like Urakistan or something like that. I don't know what it was called, but
Uzbekistan
or something like that. Great guy. And he was kind of polling me as an American citizen. Like, I've been here for X amount of time and this is what I'm seeing. And he's like, he was asking about my kids, and I got an oldest that's going away to college. He goes, do your kids pay you? And I'm like, pay me? He's like, do your kids work and then give you the money? I'm like, gosh, no. I'm like, I'm working and giving them the money. He goes, see, in my country, the kids pay the parents.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's interesting. It's kind of flipped. There's more of a family type of a dynamic there. But he goes, do you have credit cards? I'm like, yeah, unfortunately, I have credit cards. He goes, no credit cards. He goes, only cash. He goes, I live within my means. And I just was thinking to myself, like, to that point, how many people are out there just firing away,
sure,
spending money and living this life that they actually can't. It's an image. It's not a real life.
Right. It's trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah.
And culture, and you got TikTok, and you got social media that's telling you buy, or you need this. This will make you happy, and it won't. I got news for you. Sorry to ruin the script on that one, guys. It won't make you happy.
Outer world stuff.
It will do it for a little bit, and then you'll be in the same rut, and you'll have to go find something else. You just have to keep going and going and going. That's consumerism 101. But what we really try to do is get people to not have a mortgage, even like pay off their homes early. And then what that can set people up for. And I guess what? It's not a money in your pocket thing either. The whole point of this is so we can live more generously than ever before. We can impact more communities locally, nationally, and internationally through doing this. And it's just some simple things that end up changing that trajectory for you. I mean, I've got people that, they've got 150 grand of student debt, but they've got like 30 grand in the bank. Well, take out a little $1,000 or $2,000 keep for your emergency fund and go pay off that debt. Get rid of that. Those student loans, any kind of debt, that's cancer.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to eat you away. So you got to get out in front of it and then stay out in front of it. And so that's what I try to do with people. And it's unique because everyone's a little different.
Yeah.
Same with customers and print. Everything's just a little bit different. So it's a challenge, and it's fun because you get to relate to people differently and talk about things in a way that they can understand it, which is always my goal in any situation. I like to try to help people understand it however they can. Like if I'm talking to you, John, versus if I'm talking to someone down the street, I might have a different conversation or present it differently just based on that.
Mm-hmm.
So I really just try to make it easy for people to understand whatever it is. So whether it's stuff with finance and stuff, and I just do that volunteer on the side, I like spreadsheets and budgets.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, that's a fun thing to do. And to me, it's just discipline.
Yeah.
Just like so many other things, it's just discipline of you got to put in the time, you got to track things. I mean, even in fitness, I love fitness. You have to track it. You have to know what you're doing. And if I wanted to go to the next level, I would track my macros. If I really wanted to go to the next level, but I don't because I like ice cream too much. But, I would do those things to get to a better performance level because I really just think in life, we're all just trying to progress from A to B. And it's not about, I guess as long as you have a plan to get there is what is important. And that plan can change 17 times to get there, but you can't stay still. You're either going up or you're going down. And that's so true. And actually, I thought about that a lot with business, but at my church, they were talking about that in terms of your spirituality. You're either going closer to Jesus or further from him. That hit so hard.
So true.
Because it's true. It's like, oh my gosh, yeah. There are days where I could actually drift, not go closer.
Mm-hmm.
But there's I just stay still.
No, you can't.
Think about an ocean. Like you're going to stay still in an ocean. No, you're either going closer to shore or further away.
Everything's fluid. You're moving one way or the other. Yep. It's interesting you say that because in sales, there's a similar thing. Like everything that you say is either overcoming an objection or creating one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you got to be really careful with your words. And I think that you kind of nailed the art form of communication, which is to take something highly complex and make it easy to understand.
Yeah, well, thank
So
you.
how long did it take for you to kind of work through that, understand that? Did you learn that at your business and marketing classes at Arkansas? Has that been something that you've learned over time? Was that instilled in you through your father?
Yeah, that's a great question. I don't know if I think it's just this development more recently, honestly, especially in terms of the LinkedIn game. I've really been doing more there lately and just trying to understand customers better. I think I had those themes over the last maybe 8 years, I would say, of my 12 years. I've really kind of had those themes, but they were undeveloped themes. They weren't always, they were just kind of things I did, but I didn't put words to it or understand that's what I was doing for people. But also, I kind of had to, because I kept getting thrown more stuff. So I had to take on more customers. I was doing more. I was getting my own customers. I've gotten like 76 customers over an 8-year period. So I've been doing customer acquisition myself and just cold calling and, interacting. Now, I would say the last year I've been doing that in a more interactive way. And I have Dale Dupree to thank for that. He's really about a human connection and changing the game, being a rebel. I think the sticker right on
No BS, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a rebel too.
It's just fun to be that unique source for people. And I hope that it brings levity, and you don't need more hardship. Life's hard enough.
No.
And print is complex enough. And let's be honest, it's not like everyone's number one. There are some people that really, you either know your stuff really well and you are in it, and that's what we're customers, or you don't know anything about it and you're just trying to do it because you have 7 other responsibilities as that role of wherever you're at, whether it's marketing or maybe you're just the coordinator or a buyer or something but you've got other things to do. So I just try to bring that to light in an easy way, quick, because why not? We don't have enough of attention span as humans, and the messages we receive are just so they just get thrown at us. So I'm trying to make that easier for people, and hopefully they'll like that. I mean, hopefully I'm always up for comments, critiques, content. Oh, you should do this. I'll do whatever. That's kind of,
try it out.
I'm kind of that get it done kind of guy. So
Yeah.
that's why I love
Well, you're on the right podcast, man.
I know. That's kind of my title is just get it done.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have one skill set, particular you can name this. I just go figure it out. That's pretty much it. That's why
great skill set.
I do IT. I don't even know IT. Now I do it. I run our MIS system. I do sales.
Yeah. You could just hire GSD.
I could.
You could probably do that.
I'm submitting. I'll submit a bid or
all right
proposal. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
There we go. So I'm gonna throw this out at you, and I want to see how you take this and piece it all together.
Oh, all right.
So let's move away from Envision3. You've decided that you are starting your own company. You've got everything set up, the whole foundation, right? You've started to land some business. Now you're in, let's say, year 5. You've built up your company, and now you're going to go and you're going to create a sales team of 10. Okay? In doing so, you have to map out what are the KPIs, what are the daily activities, what should the sales team be doing? And the reason I pose this question to you is because I think that the sales game has changed dramatically since COVID. And I think every year since COVID has changed from the year prior.
Yeah.
It's like nothing really changed for 20 years. It's kind of the same talk track, same activities, same type of style. And then the whole world got shaken, and then it's just been rapid change. So now you have a chance, fresh, completely start new. If you were going to build your team of 10 salespeople, what would be the activities you say, hey, this is a non-negotiable. You will do this, right? And walk us kind of through how you would build a sales team to flourish in this day and age right now.
Yeah, no, that's a really great question.
Pretty fun.
It's good to think about how do you do that? And I've started to do some of that myself just to have those things in place. And so what I would do is you got to come up with your win the day strategy. And Craig Groeschel talks about this in his books. He's a great author, by the way. He's a pastor of a mega church in Oklahoma, but great leader, great business guy, really down to the point. The dude is super disciplined, and he just says, hey, you got to come up with the things that you do every day that will allow you to win. And no matter what else happens, if you do those things, you will win. And so for me personally right now, that is, I set my 10-5-3-1 strategy. So that's 10 interactions with people, whether that's phone calls, talking in person, doing drop-offs, 5 LinkedIn connections, 3 handwritten letters, and 1 LinkedIn post. So that's my 10-5-3-1 strategy right now. That works for me and what I'm doing based on my workload.
10-5-3-1. That's really cool.
Yeah. So I wrote it. It's right here. The check boxes. So that's what I define as success for me. Now, if I'm doing a team, I would say altering something like that would work. I would say more handwritten letters. I would say more in-person experiences. So those numbers would change, I think, based on the person and maybe the geography of the clients. But having some kind of basically 4-point structure that they would be able to relate back to. Because what you have to be able to measure is you have to measure activity, because you just have to. But activity doesn't matter if you're getting quotes and orders.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to measure quotes and orders. That's on any company, that's kind of your main guiding factor. So I don't care about your activity if you're getting tons of quotes and tons of orders. In fact, actually, if you're getting quotes to orders are a 1-to-1, well, then you have a great conversion rate, of course. But obviously, those are your levers. And as I look, I'm a very methodical person, and my fitness background, it's just pulling levers to get different results. So if I want to do certain things in performance, and maybe you say run faster because I like running, well, then I might have to lose some weight or do different weight training to accomplish that. But those are the things that you have to strategize. I think it might look different for each team member. So I don't want to just put out a blanket, oh, you have to do this, because people aren't going to win in that mindset.
I love that, because the reality is, like, there are some people that are absolutely amazing on the phone, just fantastic.
Yep.
And couldn't write a content piece if their life depended on it.
Yep.
So for you to say, hey, look, you have to do this, you might be taking away from the thing that they're absolutely amazing at.
Yep.
In order to fit them into the box of your thing.
And I would
that being said, they still should still write, because that's the way that they're going to become better at writing. And it's also the way that you need to be effective in 2025 and beyond. You have to be playing the full game.
Yeah.
But you might lean more towards, hey, look, let's make 50% of your daily activities phone calls because you're so good at it, but you still need to get 3 posts out a week.
Yep. So it's like
you
working
change
with
the
people.
mix.
But like with AI nowadays, that can help so much as a guide.
Mm-hmm.
So you can come up with those call scripts.
Say that again.
AI can help so much with
as a
tool.
You said
resource?
Guide.
As a guide. It's not everything. You don't want to copy paste it.
Yeah.
You have to use it as a content ideation, not a content replication.
Yeah.
So
it's a guide. It's a guide for you to essentially say, hey, look, I want to write an email, or I want to write a post. I want to have these types of things in the post. I'd like it to have this end result. Write me the post. Then you take that post and then you have to edit it so that it sounds the way that you speak.
Yeah. Well, you need to it needs to be like a peer review.
Mm-hmm.
So think of it as you're submitting it to a coworker and say, hey, I want to do this. What do you think? It's just the computer doing that, is it? And it will learn you. It will learn your flair and that type of thing. It gets pretty good at that, I will say. But we have to be careful as a society where everyone's going to do this at some point. And every post is just going to have those flares and this. We're already making jokes about it. Like,
we won't know who's real and who's not.
It's on LinkedIn now. Like, oh, here's this one thing, and this is what it taught me about sales. Like,
in a world of technology, you know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude. Have you ever said that at a party? Did you walk into a party and go, ladies and gentlemen, in a world of technology,
right,
where we are challenged endlessly? Like, really?
But
write how you talk.
You talk it, and you've talked about it well, like make it something that you do and relatable to what you do. I've posted based on that. Like, I like running, so sales is a lot like running. It takes endurance. It takes training. You know, you can't just try at sales. You have to train. The difference between trying and training is trying will fail because trying is not good enough. I could try to run a marathon, but if I don't train to run a marathon, I'm not going to get there. Trying intentions is great, but it won't get you far.
Trying is what the guy who got 6th place in the Olympics said to the reporter when asked how'd the race go.
Yeah.
I tried my best, right?
Olympians train, they don't try. There is no trying there. I got news for you guys. There's no training when it comes, or no trying when it comes to Olympians.
The first, second, third, the people who got the medals, you know, they go, hey, the training paid off. You know, they don't say I tried.
Yeah. Which is so cool because I like seeing like personal development in any department, any company. I like seeing people start somewhere and they progress, they figure out, oh, like this is it. Like they find their rut and they go and they just continue to innovate from there. Like to me, that's so cool to see. And I'm always trying to like groom people to do more of that.
Yeah.
And hey, take my job, please. Like if I can get you to that level, that means I did my job right. That's great because I want to bring people along. I want to, going back to what I said about helping people, I want to help people any way that I can. And that's why I help other friends that are doing this in other industries. Like, hey, try this. Even my brother, he's unemployed right now. And I said, well, do some of this unique stuff. How cool would it be if you send in your resume crumpled up and say, hey, you get a lot of garbage resumes. Here's one that hopefully isn't so garbage.
Who knows?
Slap a QR code on it with a 60-second video of yourself introducing you and why you want to work for that company. I mean,
or send a video DM directly to the hiring manager.
Yeah.
Instead of going through the whole because when you
ought to
look,
do both. You ought to do both.
You got to do it all.
Yeah.
I mean, you just got to stand out.
What do you have to lose?
You know what's amazing to me is how many people I've interviewed, especially for sales roles, that don't ask for the role.
Interesting.
Like what that tells me is like, if you were with one of our potential customers, are you going to ask for the order?
Yeah.
Like,
right.
You don't even ask for the job. Like, they'll go through the interview and they just kind of look at you like, what's next? And I was always taught, like, if you want the job, you got to go, hey, look, I really loved talking with you today. I see myself in this role. I feel like I can do amazing things. I would make it my obligation to do so well that I get you promoted so I could take your job.
Yeah, nice.
You know what I mean? Imagine if somebody said something like that to you in an interview.
It'd be different.
It'd be very different.
But I think that's the thing, too, is people don't ask good questions anymore. And I sometimes get into that issue as well. And if we don't ask good questions or just ask the question like, hey, what's it going to take for me to win this business from you? I really want to win this. I'm a hard worker. Like, let me get there for you. Whatever it takes, I'm in it for you. And here's why. You know, I care about your brand. That actually happened to me with a wakeboard company because I like their product so much. I'm like, dude, I love your wakeboards. Like, wouldn't you want the guy that loves your stuff to print it
I'm going to run through walls to get this job.
Yeah, I love all your stuff. I have all of your stuff, please. So, I mean, that's what worked. That was like, I don't know, 11 years ago now.
Yeah.
But that was one of the first. Like, it was fun. You remember those things.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on, this is all over email. I didn't even talk to the guys until after that.
Yeah.
So it's this plea, you know, you're like, you got to really want it. Like, how bad do you want it? And anything, you got to really see that. And if you don't see that in somebody, you have to determine if that's the right person for that role. If you're talking about hiring, if you're talking about having a team member that really gets it, you know, whoever that might be for does that fit the organization? Do you want somebody that has those skills and that mindset or not?
IT decision makers, this might sting. Frustrated with IT issues, security threats, and the stress of your technology infrastructure? Your technology should blend seamlessly with your business objectives. Technology infrastructure management with limited resources can be exhausting and counterproductive. Do you have an MSP but still have problems and technical hiccups? GSD's advisement, proactive maintenance, cutting-edge cybersecurity, cloud solutions, data backup, and local 24/7 help desk can change the game. Your technology should outpace your business operations to allow for growth, and proactive strategies should prevent issues before they arise. Get back your time and your money with GSD. Drive business forward. Leave the technology to GSD. GSDnow.com. You know, that's a really interesting thought. I wonder if sales teams spend enough time saying, hey, I want everyone to list off their 10 favorite brands or 10 brands that you absolutely, in your daily life, you use all the time.
Yeah.
And then I want you to go after those 10.
Nice.
Because to your point, that wakeboard company probably felt the fact that, hey, this is a customer. He loves our wakeboard. He uses our wakeboard. They also felt like, hey, you're going to become an extension of the brand because you're going to tell everyone about how cool it is that you work with our brand because you love the brand. So now you're like an evangelist, kind of like an advocate of the brand as well.
Yep.
And because you love the brand, it's almost like you're part of the brand, so you're going to fight a little harder to make sure that our brand is represented well.
For sure.
So I would say that it probably would be easier for you to transfer that energy as a salesperson if you were going out and trying to work with brands that aren't just in the CRM and they popped up next on the auto dial.
Right.
But they're actually brands that you are pursuing because you have a vested interest in them, you love them, you use them, you understand them.
Yep.
They mean something to you. Probably a little easier to get their attention and transfer that energy.
Well, that's what I do when I manage sales reps. Like we have one right now, but we've had others in the past. I say, go after things that you like. Go after those brands that you're passionate about because you're going to reflect that in your conversation with them.
Yeah.
And like with print, it's so great because you can pretty much talk to anybody.
And it's marketing.
Yeah. And
so what are they trying to do? Get people to love their brand.
Right. So it's like a great tie-in. And then I think the hard part of that is then getting the attention of them. You got to figure out how to do that. And yes, it helps. You got a leg up, but also they get a lot of people interested too. You know, Netflix gets a lot of people every day calling about print.
Yeah.
They don't really do as much anymore, but they used to. They were on the list of heavy print, you know, when they were the DVD service and they mail it out and all that. That's been a while now. But even so, those are still brands that do stuff, packaging and print. We just don't see it over here, but you just have to go and find those ones. You have to find those companies that you like, that you can get behind and show them why. So it's that value add. Okay, I like your stuff, but here's how we can take that to the next level for you. Maybe you're interested, maybe you're not, maybe you're just happy. And so there's that, like we were talking about, that disconnect of, well, maybe they're just fine. Maybe they don't have a need right now, and that's okay too, because customers don't have to have a need. You just want to be top of mind when they do have a need, and you want to show that, no, I'm more than just the guy that gets it done. I'm fun, I'm personable, I like to add some humor to it. Hopefully you like humor. If not, I guess we probably won't work together. I don't know, or you just want that reliable source and you want to breathe easy and know that Brian's got your back and he'll take care of you and let you know all along the way. And we'll do videos, FaceTimes. I'll show you stuff on the machine. Because that's the other side too. I'm actually out there
real time
with their job.
Yeah.
Like, hey, check it out. I'm out on press. I'm color okaying your job for you.
Yeah.
You didn't
It looks
want
great.
It looks great. And, you can see relative color on the videos. So that's all you need, so it's just fun to like figure out ways that do that. And people appreciate that because it's really the humanness, thoughtful, and just trying to, if you're being a salesperson, just pitching, that's not going to work. You have to have more. And that's why you were talking about with, knowing these brands and the passion behind them, you understand that brand better. So you can interact more intimately with them than just, hey, can I have a chance to quote? Like that doesn't work.
Well, you mentioned the word why, right? And I think, there's a lot of merit to the word why. There's a lot of different ways that you can use the word why, but I think a lot of people live in the what and how space, and that's a problem, especially when, technology is even the playing field of what and how.
Yeah.
And what and how speaks a lot to product and price.
Yeah.
And that's typically not where you're going to want to live, especially in a commodity-driven type of world, because that's just a race to the bottom on price.
Yep.
Right. So a lot of what you're talking about is getting to the why, your why, but also getting to the why of the brand that you're interacting with. What is their why?
Yep.
And how can you become an extension of that why? And how can you show that you have their why in common? I think that's the space that you are living in. That's where you've been effective.
And like we've all said, people do business with people they like.
There you go.
That hasn't changed.
No, it won't change.
It won't change. So thank goodness our role is AI proof. It really is. Because you're not going to go buy from AI. Sure, it's going to help and you'll get your answers to questions on websites from an AI bot and whatever. But at the end of the day, when you need something that's complex or that doesn't have all of it just spelled out because you can't spell out all the different things. Like I can't spell that out, like the example of laminate on top of a color proof. And how's that going to look?
Yeah.
I mean, you could, but like,
that's a long video though. That's a long form video on YouTube. That's
would anyone understand
no.
it? Someone would be like, wait, what? I just want someone to tell me and feel, help me feel good about it.
I've got $1,000. What can you do with that?
Right.
I have $1,000. I need this. It's got to be done by this. What can you do with that? That's kind of where people are living. But when you're talking about, building a partnership, it becomes deeper than that.
Yep. And it's the reliability side. So you need someone that's reliable and that's not going to go anywhere. That's the other thing, especially in this industry, is you've got, acquisitions, you've got companies that are going to potentially not be around much longer because print is shrinking in some ways, but it's growing in others. So especially in the packaging segment, there's growth, but it's just a consolidation. So there's more tailored pieces, there's more unique things being done. And because of data, we can do it to the 1,000 people that actually will care instead of the 10,000 people that 9,000 people of them won't care.
Yeah.
The spray and pray method's out. We have data now. So we can find those people and usually track them based on intent data on websites. And we can then say, oh, you were at this site today looking for shoes. Tomorrow you're getting a piece in the mail. It says, hey, here's a coupon. It happened. It's happened to me.
Yeah. You drive by a Target now, immediately there's an email that comes out. 15% discount.
Careful, you're going to get that.
Yeah, I'm getting the email. Well, maybe I need to stop at Target. So, hey, Target, send me like 3 of those 15%. So let's drive that up to 45. And here we go, 60. Can I get a 60? No.
Yeah, right.
So you keep talking about fitness, and I don't want to kind of just, pass over this. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, we're talking here about successful people who tend to live a holistic approach to life. I find that successful people that are disciplined, they have it together, and that are benefiting others, typically have faith that, the mind, body, and soul is all kind of working in alignment.
Yep.
So talk a little bit about how you get shit done in all of those buckets.
Yeah, that's great. I think actually making time for those things is super helpful and important.
If it ain't scheduled, it ain't happening.
Exactly. And so I actually have a really great gig where I can go to the gym on my lunch. And so I take that as my reset. And it's great because I get in early. I'm in at 6:30 every day. And then I'm going to the gym by noon or 12:30 typically. And I set aside that time as a reset. And if I don't take that time, I just power through. I'm all frustrated, upset. And at this point, I'm addicted because I work out about 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And it's not because I got something I have to do or like I'm trying to hit something. I'm just a general level of fitness. Nothing crazy, 40 minutes, maybe an hour for a workout, maybe 30 minutes. So somewhere in that range every day. And I try to keep to the same schedule every day too in terms of like sleep. So I wake up plus or minus an hour every day, always. No different. So I think that helps me stay on the same rhythms, and it helps me to manage my stress and prioritize, because if I don't prioritize those things, then I'm just still not effective. And I thought, oh, well, I just won't go today, which I've done that before. I won't go to the gym today. And then I end up not getting the results that I wanted, even in work, because you're just burned out. Your mind is just fried. And you need some time away. So rather than just go and take a lunch, which I could do, and I meet with people sometimes, coworkers or clients and stuff. But taking that time for me allows me. I listen to your podcast while I'm working out.
Thank you.
Get some good insight. So even though I'm not, at work, I'm still doing some things in my mind. Or some days I'm just listening to music and I'm just, I need to zone out. But I think that that's just helpful because when you feel good and your body is working in the right way, you're getting the right sleep, you're eating right. I do try to eat right, at least 70% of my meals in a day are.
Except for that ice cream you slip in there.
Oh, yeah.
What people don't know, and it is working for you, what people don't know is Brian is actually 73 years old. So you look great.
Thanks. Yeah. I am an old soul. It's funny you should say that. So
yeah,
I probably have 10 years on me in terms of who I hang out with. So I'm 35. So
all right, cool. Well, I'm a young soul, so I think we're similar age then.
All my friends are like 45. They've got different stage. They got kids at the next level. I've got 2 kids that are 3 and 5 months old.
When you say you're an old soul, do you believe that you've been here before?
No, I just act more like people that are older than me.
Yeah.
I have those same rhythms, I guess, and people have told me it, so it's not like I came up with this. I'm like, oh, okay, so I guess I'm an old soul.
Yeah.
But I just don't do things, I have LinkedIn, but aside from that, I'm not on social media. I have the other ones, I just don't really use them. I got TikTok one day recently, though, because I was dealing with an IT issue, and my computer didn't work, so I just popped open my phone. I'm like, well, I'll just get TikTok, see what this is about. So now I'm trying to learn how to airwalk.
There you go. Well, you're going to start shuffling and all that stuff.
All the cool stuff.
Yeah, go through all that stuff.
But I think that's a problem if, you can really get down a rabbit hole and lose your focus. So it's really, this whole fitness thing is focus, clarity. You have to prioritize the right things. I prioritize my family. I prioritize my church and God, and I prioritize work. And so those are the things. And I think those aren't always glamorous. We always, the world we live in, the marketing, like we want like this, I'm, this certain lifestyle and this, but at the end of the day, sometimes the days are just a grind and you're going through, you got your things, a couple hours with family, you're going to bed and doing it all over again.
I think the glamorous lifestyle is overrated. I think it's a dead end, and I think there's a lot of traps, and I think the devil that exists in is waiting at the end of a lot of those traps. I think the glamorous lifestyle is an outer world lifestyle. It's a lifestyle of, how you look, what kind of car are you driving, what kind of clothes you're wearing. Are you wearing the latest cologne? Like, do you have the cool sunglasses? I don't know. I just feel like I've gone down that path, and what it ended up doing for me was making me selfish. It took me down a path where it made me weak because I gave in to some of the things. It made me selfish, non-attentive, and there was no win. There's no win at the end, and I feel like living in the inner world of the things that mind, body, soul, and like, for instance, if you're working out because you're trying to get the attention of other people with how ripped you are, then that eventually is going to lead you down a path to maybe make some bad decisions. For instance, take steroids or do something crazy like that because you're trying to go that.
It's never enough.
It's never enough, and it's not about the right thing. Whereas for you, it's about clarity, being accessible and available to your wife and your children and your family for an extended period of time, being healthy, having clarity so that you're sharp for your customers and for your family. Like, if that's the reason you're working out, and also so that you have peace, then that's a great reason.
Yeah. Well, I tell people at the gym, because I talk to people there, of course, because I can't not talk to people. So I have like some friends there that I see, and I tell them, this is like the cheapest form of therapy you'll ever get. I work at Planet Fitness, so it's like
$10 a month.
It's like so great because it's that stress relief, get to go talk to people. I see it as a ministry too, of just being able to be there for people. I love just meeting people where they're at, hearing things that are going on in their day-to-day. I talked to an 87-year-old guy there, and he's invested in my life and my family. I talked to other people, just all kinds of people, and I love just hearing, what they're doing, or if they're going on vacation or career moves. And I've even helped some people. I've refer them to recruiters that I know. Hey, here's a recruiter guy, or have you thought about this industry? Because I love being able to do that. And if I could help out in that way, that's so great to be able to help someone else. They can feel great. They know that they did a great thing and they're on to the next path because they weren't happy where they're at, and now they're doing a better thing.
Yeah.
And if I was just there along the way, great. I mean, that's cool.
What's the greatest advice that you've been given?
Oh man,
this could take a second. So like, I'll frame it. Obviously, you're pretty centered. So in order to be that way, you become somewhat of a product of your surroundings. Yeah. And so you have to have had great mentors in your life, your father being one, your uncle being a mentor, I would imagine as well. You grew up in the business. You're part of a church. You're part of community. So I would imagine you're somebody who's not having a whole bunch of surface level conversations and just kind of aimlessly wandering through the world. Like, you're having a lot of conversations of depth and meaning and sophistication and substance. So like, when you think of some of the best advice that you've been given, what kind of comes to mind? Maybe it's multiple things. It doesn't have to be one thing in particular.
I can think of a good friend. He has definitely been a mentor to me, especially over the last few years. And it really comes down to making the most of your time and prioritizing what's important. And that's the general cliche, but really, like, take the time with family. Like, you don't get that time back, or don't do that project yourself if you can have the means to pay for it, because you need that time with your family. You don't get that time back. So making the most of those opportunities, I mean, even as it is right now, every night, I only get to see my family for a couple hours before bedtime. By the time I get home at 6, bedtime by 8, I mean, there's just not much time. Mm-hmm. So trying to make the most of time has always been important. And I try to live every day like it's the last. And I know people say that, but I do mean that. And I do want it to be that way when it comes to even relationship with people. Like, just treat them like that. Don't leave anything to anger. Don't let the sun go down on any anger. Like, clear that stuff up. Life's too short. You have to maximize it and do it with family, do it with God, connect with people. That's really, at the end of the day. Yeah, we go to work, we get paid. We're all here to make money, whatever. That's all part of it. And that's great. And achievements are cool, but there's people there. There's lives, souls. And if you're not spending time doing that, which I've been guilty of, then you're really missing out. And then you're just focusing on, like, what you were talking about with just, pursuing whatever, whether materials or pursuing looks or just whatever it is, you're going to end up down an empty road.
It feels like that's a fast life. And I feel like what you just talked about is a way of slowing life down.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. Something feels like it's happening. Maybe it's since COVID. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm getting older. Maybe I'm just having so much fun.
You are having fun.
But it feels like life is going really, really fast right now. Faster than before. I feel like days just fly by now. And that worries me for our world. That we just kind of get caught up where, some of us might just look up and go, dude, what just happened? Like, the whole summer went by. I don't know if I did anything. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like there's a lot of people living in that, in all different types of economic levels. And I feel like what you just talked about slows that down.
You do. And you have to silence it. You have to keep things at bay. Like social media, you have to keep that away. Try keeping your phone out of reach all night. See what it does.
By the way, social media, try creating instead of scrolling.
That too.
I think sometimes when we say these things, and we need to make sure that we clarify, because the reality is, like, if you're on social media scrolling for hours, what you're doing is you're becoming envious and jealous of how amazing other people's lives are.
And you got to learn, yeah.
What you should be doing is creating to show how amazing your life is and your brand is and your experiences are, and lending to that. And social media has changed, by the way. It's no longer social media. It's interest media. And this is the reason why we should be doing interesting things that are in different categories and talking about life while talking about what it is that our business does or how it does it, but really more the why we do what we do. Because the fact is, like, the algorithm is showing people what they're interested in. So it used to be really cool. Like, you have a niche, you almost want to have multiple.
Yeah.
You almost want to be talking about a ton of different stuff, but maybe having 2 or 3 interests that you're hitting while talking about different stuff. Because to your point, otherwise people right now are getting caught up in, and I see this all the time. Like, people are on social media and they're not creating, and they're getting lost in rabbit holes instead of creating one.
Well, it's paralysis.
Yeah.
Everyone, and you could fall into that pretty easily. But like what you say is, there's so many cool stories out there. Go out and tell one.
Yeah.
And live it.
Be a story.
And don't be afraid. I would say, don't be afraid to go out and try something and fail. That's actually better if you do.
Yeah.
You will actually learn more through the failure
The adversity.
than you were if you just did everyone wants to go viral. Oh, maybe not everyone, but that's the whole dream, right? Of great content, all this, but it doesn't start there.
And by the way, the odds are so low. They're so low because what you see when you go on, so for instance, people think it's possible, and the platforms want you to think it's possible because what they do is they show you the top 1%.
Yeah.
So you see the person with 29,000 likes on TikTok or Instagram, and then the next person's got 2,400 likes, and that's like the lowest they show you. And then you create something and it gets 60 likes, and you think you suck. The reality is, TikTok is only showing you those. What you don't realize is 99% of the people on TikTok don't even get 60 likes.
And if you really start looking at it, it's true. You have to. Comparison will always cripple you. Comparison cripples for sure. You will not get somewhere if you do that. But if you're a human and you go have fun with it, just go do it. And whether you're trying to promote a brand or you're just sharing your life and it happens to
or
that
you're being
brand.
a steward.
Yeah.
You're just offering up your ideas.
Because people can benefit. And every day somebody can benefit from something that you're doing, whether it's a smile as you're checking out at the grocery store or holding a door open for somebody. You don't know where somebody is mentally. And I've seen it, unfortunately, firsthand in some really bad circumstances, but you don't know what goes on in their mind or what happens after that. And unfortunately, you don't get that time then back, and you can't go back and tell them something different. So that's what I try to make sure in my interactions with people. It's a positive. I try to just give them the best experience, whatever that is, whether I'm working with a team or just out in public. Like, I just want to be known for that guy that is, lighthearted and there to help and just that person. So I try to do that and hear where other people are at, wherever they're at. I love to walk alongside wherever they're at in their journey. And yeah, I'd say less is more. Go do it. You don't have to post every day on your social media. You can go and do things as you see fit, and maybe you like it, keep doing it, get better. That's that progression I was talking about.
Yep.
And that's really cool to see people that do some of that stuff. I mean, I've walked along some side of people that have started those things and done them and done them well. And it comes from that passion. It goes back to the why.
Yeah.
And that intentionality.
They're not doing it for the likes. They're doing it because they're trying to say something. They're trying to have an impact on somebody.
And everyone's passionate. Everyone's passionate. It's just a matter of what.
Mm-hmm.
So they need to go find that what if they don't know, or refine it if they know, but it needs to be worked on, and then figure out a way to do that. I think it's hard if people have that passion, but that's not maybe their career, or maybe that's a good thing. But it's hard then because you're like, oh, I really like this thing, but I can't get paid to do it. So then it's like, okay, well, that's really a really cool hobby, which is great. But like in terms of like the debt stuff that I work on with people, like they're really passionate, have really cool things. It's like, okay, well, how can we monetize that so you can get more money, so you can get out of debt faster, so you can get on with living and paying off your house, and then being able to give like never before and set your kids up well. And because it's really not about the money. It's really about doing good for others.
It's the give.
You get more from giving than receiving.
Yes. I'm learning that.
And if anyone wants to try that, I mean, let's go do it. I will show you, and we can go do those things, and I will show you how to give and how you can experience more joy from that than getting something.
Yeah. I think we've made quite a case for why Brian is somebody that would be fantastic to partner with, and that wasn't the intention in any way, shape, or form, but I think that that has been well represented. And again, it really does come down to we buy from people that we know, like, and trust. And, the key to partnership is to work with somebody that you like and that you trust. Well, it's tough to like and trust somebody until you know them. So I think what you're talking about is like, let's increase the odds that you get known by kind of forcing the world to pay attention. Here I am. Like, let's get out there. And by the way, if you go to a networking event, and you should, you're going to go see 100 people at the networking event. You're probably only going to have 3 actually substantive conversations. You could have 50 substantive conversations by creating and then sparking conversations on LinkedIn, or putting together a podcast, or and starting a conversation through the comments on YouTube Shorts. And there's a lot of ways to do that, which will increase the odds that when you go to the next networking event, you walk in and people go, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I know you. I see all your content." And then all of a sudden the conversations become a little bit more meaningful and powerful, and that's kind of the point. So it's been absolutely fantastic having you on the show. I have a couple more questions for you, if you don't mind, if you have time.
Absolutely.
I think that I think that it's really powerful to work in the power of 3. And I've talked to people about this. I have these pillars that I operate under. And these were established years back at an organization that I was at, and it really worked well for me, and it worked well for the leadership there. And then we kind of spread it throughout the staff, and they established their own, and it really helped each individual that did this to kind of understand themselves better, and then what they stood for, and it helped them to work better within the core values of the total organization. So mine are mindset, behavior, technique. And what I believe is that anything that you are going to do will be done better if you have the right mindset.
Sure.
I mean, and when I say that, that doesn't necessarily just mean being positive. It could be, having a mindset of clarity, being very, purpose driven, understanding why you're doing something. And then if you attach that to positive energy as well, we probably get even better. The second, behavior. When I say behavior, I mean, to your point, fitness, having a discipline of fitness is a behavior. You're repeating that behavior. It's identifying what behaviors you want to have and making them repetitious until they become innate. And then it becomes really foundational. And then the last technique, I don't think you can have any type of mastery unless you do something enough times. And as you're doing those things enough times, you need to evaluate it, and you need to refine the technique to the point where you can then teach it, and it becomes a methodology or a strategy, something you can even write a book. You could even write a book about, or you could implement into a business as a strategy,
A playbook.
So for me, it's mindset, behavior, technique, and I've kind of taken this to business, podcasting, golf, life, being a dad. Like, that's the way I operate. So I framed the question for you. So if you had to identify kind of what your power of 3 pillars are,
sure.
Do you have those already? Or what would you, let's walk through it. What would you say those 3 are for you?
Yeah, that's definitely some good stuff. I haven't thought about it like that in terms of pillars. I would think I like getting things done. So I think a hard work ethic is a pillar for me. I think a lot can be done with a hard work ethic. You can do anything you want if you put your mind to it. So kind of like your mindset one. For me, that's just seemed to, you can work smarter, not harder, but when you're not smarter at it yet, you just work harder and it works out pretty good.
That's the truth.
I feel like that works at least for me because I don't mind putting in the hours.
I love that. Somebody said to my son asked a really good player at the course, like, how do you get better at golf? And the guy goes, you go beat golf balls at the range. You just beat them. over and over and over again, and that's how you get better.
What is it, 10,000 hours or whatever?
Yeah, that's like the thing. So I agree with you. And it's not the fake it till you make it. I think that's kind of a BS thing. I think it's work hard until you figure it out.
Yeah, I would say work hard. I think discipline is another one. I think that might go into that hard work category, but the discipline more of, okay, that's more strategic and has a structure of you have to do the things and do them right, and then, implement or change or do whatever to measure those things. So you have to have some sort of discipline in whatever you're doing. So discipline at work, discipline with your fitness, discipline with your finances. Those are all really important areas of life for me. And if I stay disciplined in that, discipline with family time structure. So you have to have a discipline there. And when you're not, you're just going to be out of sync.
Yeah.
So I think those are two areas. And then I think just continued learning, continued development. Always be looking for ways to learn. Always be looking for the next thing that you can do, and whatever that is. And maybe learning in an instance is just a quick takeaway that it's for personal development. Or maybe you're learning a new system or a new way to do something at your work, that type of thing. But I think if you're not learning continually, then you're just going to stagnate. And you can have the best hard work ethic and the most discipline, but you won't know what's out there. And especially in this landscape with digital and how things are changing so much, I've had to adopt AI. I didn't know what AI was a year ago. And I just started using it. I'm like, well, how do I use this? And it just became like Google. And I'm like, oh, I could do this. And oh, I could do this. But I had to go through that process. And I knew I didn't want to, which is why I didn't for a long time. But then I did and started to see, oh, this could be like my assistant. It can pull together reports for me. Or I wonder if it can do this. And so that's how learning happens. And learning isn't always linear. And I don't think learning is always constant. So you can always be learning in situations, but I mean, like, you're not like going to go research something every day and figure it out. Like, don't do that.
Yeah.
No one has time for that. Yeah. But you have projects you're working on or things that you're trying to figure out over time. And I don't think in this day and age, people do enough of that. They just expect, oh, Google it or chat GPT it and see what happens. But there isn't that manual for life sometimes.
Yeah.
For things around your house or, what to do in certain circumstances. So those types of learning are a little different, but still important. And if you're not figuring things out and critically thinking, then you're not going to potentially be able to get to the next resolution as easily.
There's another question I have for you in that regard, because I feel like our brains are these unbelievable computers that we've barely tapped into. But then I have this question of are we trying to learn too much? Are we trying to know too much? As mankind, are we making life too complex? Do we just need to get simple again?
I think so.
It seemed like in the 40s, I don't know, 20s, 30s, 40s, obviously, I think people, there was some interesting different challenges, like how do we eat? And, there was different challenges than there is now, but it seems, I don't know, I think of my grandparents and maybe my great-grandparents who I never met, but I just feel like their life was simple. It was probably easier. I could be totally wrong.
But just because it's simple doesn't mean there wouldn't be learning that could be happening. It just would happen in a different medium, too. And there is something to be said to have a little bit of shutout. Maybe some people do probably overdo the consumption.
That's what I'm saying. There's so much stuff now. And then there wasn't all that stuff. So it was more like a good conversation with your brother.
Yeah.
Now it's which of the 9,000 channels do I want to watch?
Yeah.
Or what website do I want to go down? Or what hobby do I want to have mastery in?
Well, can you imagine now, our social skills are actually probably less than they were?
Yeah. And we've done all
the last time, if you're not in sales, when was the last time you got a phone call? I
don't want to answer them.
Do you even have a house phone?
No.
But that used to be. It used to be something that would ring and you would answer it and you'd talk to someone for a second. So even that basic skill is no longer, and maybe that's better, maybe it's worse. You could have different opinions on that, but...
Sebastian, the comedian?
Monticello. Or,
He's from here around here, and he goes, and I remember this too. You know, your mom would go to the grocery store, the Jewels, right, and get the Edmonds.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, don't touch that. And it was because people came over to your house.
Yeah.
And sometimes just randomly, the doorbell rang. Everyone ran to the door.
Yeah.
We all ran to the door. Oh my gosh, come on in.
Now we don't.
Doorbell rings now. I'm like,
solicitor.
Yeah.
I get a lot of solicitors at my
Me
house.
too.
Yep.
How things have changed.
It's crazy.
Neighbors don't just stop over. I have neighbors. You know, I've lived in my current house for 4 or 5 years. I couldn't tell you the name of 85% of the people that I can look out my window and see their house. I couldn't tell you their name.
So we have an opportunity.
We have an opportunity, but it also tells you that I've been so on the go in a such a different world, that the world that is actually right in front of me, that isn't on a phone, isn't on a microphone, isn't national, the one that is literally out my front door, I'm not a part of.
Yep.
But I'm talking to people in 12 states over and commenting on, and you know what I mean?
It's so different.
It's very different.
Well, and like, I have a neighbor and we've gotten together a couple times, but it's on us next to make the next call do, and I haven't yet. You know, whatever, I could come up with excuses, but at the end of the day, it still hasn't been done and haven't had that interaction. But can you imagine if we all impacted our neighbors and were able to like interact with them more? That's a huge opportunity for everybody just to be a good neighbor. You don't have to be best friends with these people. You don't have to like these people that much. Like, just be human and go. We're really not all that different. We like to eat food, laugh, and have a good time and do good, meaningful work. I mean, those are the things. You work anywhere, look all over the world. Those are the things. You don't have to speak the same language. If you do those things well, you can have a good time with people. How do I know? I've done it in other countries where I don't speak Spanish, but I've been there in Nicaragua. I've been in the Dominican Republic. I've seen.
Were you doing license?
I was, yes. Yeah. So I was helping out at an orphanage and, you know, building play structures and concrete sidewalks and stuff. So just really cool stuff that, you know, at the end of the day, people just want to have fun. And
you've lived a lot of life, haven't you?
Yeah, I've been a few places. Haven't been over to Europe though, but yeah,
it's good. It's really, really good. It's great to have you on the show. And folks, I want you to write this down too, the 10-5-3-1 strategy. If you want to go through that again, win the day, 10-5-3-1. I think it's a great idea. And if you're in sales or you're a sales leader, you might want to listen up to this, because I think it's a great thing that you could implement if you don't have something like this already.
Absolutely. Yeah. So 10 interactions. So make sure you're getting 10 different things with people, whether it's a phone call or a LinkedIn message, those types of things. 5 LinkedIn connections. Like, make sure you reach out and get 5 new people that you didn't know before today. 5 of those. 3 handwritten letters. Doesn't have to be long. Just has to be some meaningful.
We're talking about a letter you're throwing in the mail or dropping off.
Yeah, put the stamp on it. Exactly. Say, thinking of you, or, I mean, just thank somebody. So this is not like
power of thank you is
just
crazy.
Thank somebody. You have somebody you can thank. Go thank them and do it every day. And then post on LinkedIn or whatever social media you prefer and use. For me, it's LinkedIn. But go post something. Add value to somebody else every day. Make it about them, not you. Make it about just doing those things for other people, and that will be the success. And less is more, so you don't have to do a lot. That's why this is a pretty easy framework, because I don't like a lot, and I get overwhelmed with a lot, and I have a lot that I do. So that's why I had to do this.
Keep it simple.
And I didn't even, honestly, these things just like popped into my head, and then I put them in that order, and I was like, oh, actually, it's kind of like this nice little sequence.
Works out.
I didn't plan that, I promise. It just worked that way.
Sometimes you're shown things, and you just go, oh, there that is.
I was like, oh,
look at that. That's in the Universal Library. Let me just grab that one. That just hit me.
Well, and the 10 was always a thing. So the 10 interactions was always my sales strategy, always has been. So that part wasn't new. The 5 and 3 were probably the most revolutionary for me to keep developing. The one, I was already doing a LinkedIn post. I was like, oh, I'll just put that on there. So that works out. it kind of is a good way. And I think Craig Groeschel really helped inspire. So check him out to read some of his books or listen. Those are great things to listen to on your car ride or your commute, whatever you're doing. Please check out The Power to Change is the book that really kind of set this up well for me and has made impacts. So I encourage anyone to listen to those things.
Folks, it's been Brian Franz. This is Envision3. So please check them out. If we've given you anything, I think we've given you some really good feeling. I think there's some good feeling to this episode of hey, look, it's not about the commodity. It's not about the print game. It's not about the products and services. While it is relevant, it is important. It's who you're getting it from and what that person stands for, and do they align with you, and will you like them and trust them? And I think that there's a pretty good case for that. So if you're looking for a new printer, some new solutions, let's check out Brian Franz and Envision3. And Brian, you, sir, you got shit done.
I did.
Thanks for coming on.
Thanks
Cheers.
so much.
Be well. Can your business handle 15% growth? If yes, you have to engage with 2020 Design. They fuse data and creativity to stop the scroll, break through the noise, and grab the attention of your future customers. 2020 Design will create competitive, click-worthy campaigns, design and build custom websites, spark your social media presence, and structure email campaigns that get right to your audience, the decision maker. Let's boost attention and awareness, which allows you to convert more sales. Check them out at 2020design.com. That's the number 20, TWENTY design.com.